Hi folks, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a quick install on this Worksport AL3 Pro Trifold hard tonneau cover. And I actually had it on and it's already been installed, but I had some water leakage that I wanted to fix, and I called the company and they told me some things that I should do. I really like this tonneau cover, and we're going to just do a quick overview of how I installed the rails and everything, or installed this rail on the truck bed that has a rail, which is my 2024 Tacoma. And here's the rail right here that it comes with, and it's really easy to install. I put a piece of paper here just to show that when I laid out the tonneau cover and figured out my distance between the bulkhead rail here, this is only an inch wide, and look how it kind of cuts into the cab. There's really no gap here. You kind of have to push your finger towards the cab. You can't really go straight down. So there's not a lot of wiggle room, and I did try another tonneau cover. I purchased one on Amazon, and the buckle, so the buckle on this one kind of comes straight up and down, but the buckle on that one protruded, and it was made to fit this 2024 Tacoma, and I really had to back it out, and then I was getting airspace, and it just wasn't sealing properly because I wanted to back it away so that it wouldn't rub the paint. And anyway, I just didn't feel comfortable with it, so I returned it and did some research and got this Worksport AL3 Pro and really like it. So first of all, what I did is there's a little end cap here that I took out. You just pinch it and pull it out. And then it's got 3 T-clamps, and you just, and that's what, once you take this screw out, there's on the other side the T-clamp. You just slide 3 of them through and position them out, and you lay this bed rail down flush on the side of your truck here. And since, you know, like I said previously, you figure out your distance here, where you've got to have a little bit of distance when you lay the portion of the tonneau cover down against your bulkhead. Have a good gap there, a little bit of a gap so that it doesn't rub. I did have this rubbing when I started driving. You could hear it. And so I backed it out to about right, you know, at the edge here. And I was still able to get a good seal. But because I didn't install this rail properly, the key thing here is that when all I did was I assembled it, and then I tightened the screws down. What you're supposed to do is push down as you're tightening each one. So tighten this one first, and then push down on this one, tighten that one down, and then the same with this one. And you know, kind of, you know, I kept my paper there because that's where the latch on the tonneau cover, the center of the latch is going to be. So then you line that up to the center of this rail, and so it should match up pretty well. So I'm going to, now that I have pushed down on this rail and tightened up the screws, I was getting a little bit of water, like I said, into the cab after a big rainstorm and after I washed my truck. So now I'm going to place the tonneau cover on top, and we'll go from there. All right, now that the AL3 Pro is assembled to the top of the truck, I place the distance between the bulkhead and the cab where I think the space won't allow any rubbing. There's just a little space there, enough for articulation between the cab and the bed when it does articulate a little bit. And there's a gap in there. So of the inch wide bulkhead rail, you know, there's, if you put your finger in there, you can feel the bed rail sticking out a little bit, but it's mostly, you know, probably over 3/4 of an inch on the rail. So I feel comfortable with that. So what I did is I went ahead and tightened up those retaining clamps right there. And you don't want to over tighten them, but you want to get them fairly tight. And now that those are secure and tight, those are the only retaining clamps on this entire tonneau cover other than the latch. And you want to make sure that everything when you, back here, that the sides are flush on both sides. And then we have our latch system right here, so that when we fold this one over, and they have some really good rubber all the way around it. And it's good, it's made of good quality material. The hardware's good material. And so as I lay this down, you'll see the latch hit right in the middle. And it's not latching because you want to adjust the height of this latch mechanism right here to where it's not going to be easy for this to latch unless you push firmly on it. Because then what this does, and then you push on this side, and then what that allows is there should be no air gaps right there. So it's pretty tight and firm. If you push down on it, again, good spacing right there. I don't like how close the bed is to the cab or how far out this molding comes out close to the cab. But it is what it is. And I think there's some tonneau covers out there that will not fit properly, even though they're advertised as a 2024 Tacoma. I've seen a few of them already where I wouldn't put them on this truck, because by the time, again, you slide it back because of retaining clips that are overhanging, or say the frame is back and the rubber seals are, say, like in here, well, then by the time you move it far enough back from the cab, then your rubber seals aren't touching. You're going to have gaps in the corners and along the bulkhead. So I have a pretty good seal here. I would have liked to have seen them move the rubber gasket material on the other side a little bit closer to the edge, because I have a little bit of overhang inside that's out past the bulkhead, but it's also dry enough for me that I'm happy keeping this because of the low profile. It's quality made. I really like the durability of this aluminum. Other aluminum hard trifolds have a very thin layer of aluminum on top, and they have some foam that takes up quite a bit of space, and then another layer of aluminum on the inside or on the other side of this. And what happens is if you push your thumb hard enough on some of them, you can get it to dent. If you hit your knuckle hard enough on some of those, you could get it, you could create a dent. This one is not only, I think, lighter than the others I tried putting on here, or looking into. This is actually a little lighter, but also sturdier. And I believe Worksport said that the gauge of aluminum on here is generally 4 times thicker than the other hard trifolds that are, thicker. So I would rather have less insulation, a thinner tonneau cover that's a little more stout. And I think in a heavy hailstorm, this would hold up better than some of those other ones, and is just pretty much dent free or less prone to denting. And I do like how it's easy to take on and off. Yes, you only have one retaining clamp up here, and then just the latch, but the latch mechanism here is made so that if you adjust the tension to where you push down on it and it's going to allow you to form a good seal around this entire bed and get minimal water. So I really like this AL3 Pro. I think it's well worth the money, and I don't think I would get any of those cheaper models anymore, because I think for the value, you pay a little bit more. It's still under $1,000, well under $1,000 for this model, and I think I'm going to keep it. So anyway, hope you like this review, and I hope I've helped you with your install. And anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye.